What is going on, everybody? TJ Thomas back, and boy, do I have a lot to unload on. So the Phoenix Suns just, wow. What can you say about the Phoenix Suns? They crushed the Los Angeles Lakers last night, 115 to 185, and Devin Booker had another great game with 30 points, and Cameron Payne, man, he is not afraid. He had 16 off the bench, and my reaction to all this is, what? Where was LeBron James? I don't know I don't know what happened to him last night. Every time, well, I mean, sometimes he would drive to the basket, but every time I watched him, he kept settling for jump shots, and I'm thinking, go to the rack. You're LeBron freaking James. Go to the rack. Get an easy layup. Me and Skip Bayless always say this about LeBron James. He is the best driver to the basketball I've ever seen. He certainly is the best driver of the basketball I've ever seen. But he's got to carry the fucking load. It's like, as great as Anthony Davis is, he can't stay healthy. And Grant Hill, I think, said it best last night. And I think Grant Hill is a pretty good analyst. I think Father Time's starting to catch up to him a little bit. Starting to, in other words, tap him on the shoulder. I don't know. Every time I watched him, he would either settle for a jump. Every time, especially when he was running to the rim, he would either look to pass the ball, if not pass the ball if he could, or just hesitate and try to find another good basketball play. And I'm like, what? This is LeBron freaking James, the best driver the basketball there is. And what happened to his starters though? I gotta say, I give 50-50. I lay the blame 50-50. I place 50% on LeBron and 50% on the rest of the team, because the next man up mentality did not work for the Lakers. I'm sorry. Shaq said it best on the inside. I gotta say, Shaq said it best on the inside of the NBA. They came out flat and they came out soft. No energy. I mean, after Markieff, even though Markieff Morris hit a three to start the game, I was like, yeah, okay, this will be a game. And the Suns they ran away with it. Devin Booker turned back. He looked like Kobe Bryant. Let's just say that. He was outstanding. Man. And now the Lakers, I think they're done. Because I highly doubt Anthony Davis is going to play, even though I saw him in practice. But, dude, you don't magically heal from a strain. Kevin Durant, prime example. You don't just magically heal from a strain. A strain, on average, usually takes like 1 or 2 weeks to heal. Well, I mean, Kevin Durant's took he had a calf. Well, Kevin Durant actually had a calf strain, and it took him like a month to heal. And I still to this day think he had a little micro tears in his Achilles. That's just me. But you can't magically heal from a groin strain. It's just not possible. And Anthony Davis is probably not going to go. I would be shocked if he decided to play on game 6 at Staples. But it's like, all these analysts have been talking about, the Lakers they're gonna once Braun and AD get back, they're gonna take off. I just haven't bought into that notion. AD is not a weight room warrior. He is out of shape. He needs to focus on getting in the weight room and getting in shape. Because I looked at Steph Curry's body. The dude has a legit man bod. Like, you can tell Steph Curry been in the weight room, especially if you look at Aisha and their pictures from Cabo recently. Steph been in the weight room lifting. And Anthony Davis, from how he's built, he just doesn't look like a weight room. He's not a weight room warrior. In an NBA, you have to be a weight room warrior every day. And so, yeah, it was a horrible night for Laker fans last night. Meanwhile, Danny Ainge stepped down as the GM of the Celtics, and Brad Stevens is going to be elevated into that role. So Brad Stevens, in effect, is stepping down from being the head coach to being the executive, basically the overseer of the whole basketball team. And this could work. It could not work. I don't know. I'm excited actually to see how this thing works in Boston, because Danny Ainge actually had a good run in Boston. I mean, one of his in his first couple of years as an executive there, won a championship with KG, and then they built pretty well. I mean, they're consistent. They were a consistent contender all these years. I mean, even when Kyrie and Gordon, and that's when they didn't have Gordon Hayward and Kyrie. They went to the conference finals without Gordon Hayward and Kyrie in 2018. Let that sink in. I do think Brad Stevens is good. They'll find a good coach. I'm just thinking of Jason Kidd. I think would be a good choice. Becky Hammond's certainly on there because she's in the pipeline. There is a possibility she might become the first woman coach. I think that'd be great because but at the same time, I think Becky Hammond's. I think she's waiting. I think deep down she's waiting in the wings for when Pop walks in the sunset. That's what I think she's waiting for. So yeah, I think this is going to work out well for Boston. And hell, maybe they might get a better coach. They might get an upgraded coach. Who knows? And speaking of Coach Mike Krzyzewski, stepping down at Duke after this next season. And boy, I mean, Coach K, he's the Nick Saban of college basketball. Need I say more? Shout out Rod, Duke alumni. Shout out. But man, you think of, like I said, I talked with Rod about this. When you think about the powerhouses in college basketball, it's Duke, Gonzaga, UCLA, North Carolina. Those are when you think of college basketball, those are the schools you think of. And Duke, whole bunch of good players have come. I can name a whole bunch of good players that have come out. Kyrie Irving came out of there. RJ Barrett, Zion. Let's see who else. Jason Tatum came out of there. Wow, I mean, no. Cat came out of Kentucky. Never mind. Karl Anthony Towns. He came out of Kentucky. But yeah, a whole lot of basketball players came out. A lot of really good basketball players came out of Duke. And man, I wish Coach K nothing but the best in his retirement. And going to be exciting to see how the rest of the playoffs unfold. Milwaukee and Brooklyn, I think, is going to be an interesting series, though. I think the key to that series is Brooklyn playing defense. Brooklyn has to bring it on defense because Milwaukee is a team that loves the paint. I mean, Giannis. You look at Giannis' size, you're going to be like, yeah, he's going to live in the paint and he's going to live at the free throw line. The key is Giannis needs to be better at the free throw line because he's like LeBron. A lot of the liability. He's a liability from the free throw line. So yeah, wow. What a night it was last night and what a day it's been today. Really looking forward to seeing how the rest of the playoffs end up.